Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Pup. We're here for the Game 5 of the PPL NX Stage 1. Today we are facing off, well, technically we're playing against Gravy Jack, but it was Dell's team and then it was Ellie's team. But Jack ended up stepping in to play this game for me, which was really nice. Since we lost, unfortunately, to D-Ray, we need to win this in order to be in the silver bracket, which is, seeds 3 and 4. And then if we lose, then we're going to be in bronze 5 and 6, which is not what I want. I was legitimately a no crit on Suyin Quillfish or a good roll on Gliscor or a good roll of Superior surviving against Scizor for me to win that game, which is just really unfortunate, especially with how my game against Harry went earlier. But it's okay. We're going to try to win this one, and then we just got to win our silver bracket, and that should put us in a decent position to hopefully make the top 16 at the end of the next stage. But their team is on screen here. They don't have like a logo or anything since it's like the team's kind of up in the air at this point. They have a Regieleki, fastest thing on the field for sure. I mean, not faster than Barraskewda under the rain. So that's really nice. We do still have some sort of speed control, but it's still a very solid threat versus me, especially like Thunder in the rain is really hard for me to switch into. They also have Ogerpon Cornerstone, which is one of the better Pokemon in this format, if I'm going to be completely honest. I love the spikes with Sturdy. It's just so good. But also having a 100 something power rock move that doesn't miss is just really nice in a meta game like this. It's a really good Pokemon that I use in the BBRD League. And it's going to be really good against me here. I also have Tentacruel, just a great spinner in this matchup. Gyarados is really strong, hard for me to switch into, except for I do have a Bellibolt on my team, which is perfect for that. They got Magmar, which I don't think ever comes to this game, especially against the rain, but it is a solid, NFE Pokemon. And then they have Lando T and Baxcalibur, two 20-point Pokemon, I think, which is our max tier. Very, very scary Pokemon on the team, especially when they're combined with stuff like Ogerpon down the board. And, I don't really mind, especially the Landorus. We do have a Gliscor that kind of just beats it 1v1 unless they are some sort of Calm Mind setup set. Baxcalibur does hurt my team. It's really hard for me to switch into Pokemon like that. So I have to play a little bit safer around that thing. They also have an Illumise down the field, just prankster Pokemon. Pretty solid, not really that good though, probably won't see it here. And they have a Mesprit, which is a solid like rocker. I do feel like one of the two leads are going to be that Ogerpon or Mesprit. It's a rocker with T-Wave, U-turn, Memento sort of stuff. I think it has Memento, pretty sure. They also have Klefki, which I guess could be a lead if they want to bring it in this game. It is a scary Pokemon to be able to stop my Barraskewda from outspeeding if they get a T-Wave with Prankster in the rain. It's also just, stopping a lot of the setup opportunities that I would love to have with this team. Next up, they have the Dunsparce, or actually, this is just regular Dunsparce, so it doesn't really do as much, but if they end up getting like some coils up with Eviolite, it is a little bit hard to beat it since it does have reliable recovery with Roost, especially if I have a lot of physical attackers on my team, which I do this week, but hopefully we should be able to get past it. And they also have Spiritomb, low tier god, one of my favorite low tiers of all time. Just a great Pokemon, not really the best in this matchup versus me, when I do have stuff like Gliscor that really take away everything that it wants to do from me. But that's alright, it's still a solid Pokemon down the board. But we're going to start off with our Metagross here. Just a great Pokemon in general in the matchup. Having Ice Punch to be able to catch Landorus switch-ins is really strong. Having Bullet Punch to catch the Ogerpon, making sure that the Sturdy doesn't really matter. We have Earthquake, which hits Regieleki. The Bullet Punch also hits the Baxcalibur, which is really important to making sure they can't sweep us. I also wanted to put Psychic Fangs on here because they do have a lot of opportunities for screens with the Regieleki, with the Mesprit, with the Klefki more importantly. That I could definitely see the screens coming, and we just have to break them with this. Or max HP, max attack with heavy duty boots, because I do anticipate them setting up a lot of hazards in this game. Next up is going to be my guaranteed lead most of the time, which is Iron Hands. There's a really good lead into the Ogerpon where I can click Fake Out and then Drain Punch into them to really bypass their Sturdy. So it's a great set into that. We're basically max HP as well with a Shucka Berry, just in case they end up leading with the Landorus. I can freely click Ice Punch into that Pokemon and do a ton of damage. Obviously might not be able to knock it out after the Intimidate drop, but it's really nice to get a lot of damage on that. It also helps me deal with an Earthquake from Baxcalibur. If they're +1, I should be able to still live them, as long as they don't have too many hazards on my side of the field. And I should also be able to live like +2 Stomping Tantrum from the Ogerpon if that's really threatening me. Next up on the team is going to be my physically defensive wall, which is Belly Bolt. Has to come here because it's so good into Gyapdos. They really spam the Brave Bird into me. Besides that Pokemon, like it's really hard, even with a Gliscor on my team and like a Metagross, it's really hard for me to switch in to the Brave Bird. So I have to have Belly Bolt. Static plus Rocky Helmet should be able to take care of it pretty easily. We do have Weather Ball on the squad with my my Pelipper that's obviously coming later. So I can hit stuff like Landorus, which would be really fun if I'm able to get that off in the game. But I can also just click Toxic on the Landorus switch that seems super telegraphed against me. I mean, they could also switch into a couple of other Pokemon on their team, notably like the Klefki to get up hazards or the Mesprit to also get up hazards and be more supportive. And getting a Toxic on like Mesprit or something like that would be pretty nice. Obviously, we can't do it against Klefki, but we can always Volt Switch out and get a little bit of momentum for us, which is really nice. But just max Phys Def on this Pokemon, really nice to deal with that Gyapdos. Then next up on the team is my Barraskewda here. I already said I'm bringing Pelipper. I gotta bring Barraskewda. I'm gonna be really solid in this game. Just being able to click Flip Turn for basically free. The best thing they can do is like have a Rocky Helmet Tentacruel, which is what I do expect in this game. I think it makes a lot of sense. But I could also see something like Rocky Helmet Klefki to try to punish my flip turns. But if I get the rain up, it's just completely free. They don't have any switch-ins at all. I also have Psychic Fangs that I can predict if they want to go out to that Tentacruel. It also breaks screens if they do end up having that. But I can also just click Liquidation versus their team, and they don't have a good switch-in unless it's seriously max Phys Def Tentacruel. If not, I just absolutely destroy them. We have enough speed to outrun Ogerpon from like Adamant, which is really nice. And then we should be able to outrun the Regieleki if we are under the Swift Swim. But if they are Scarfed, which is a real set in this game, it does worry me just a little bit. But next up on the team is obviously Pelipper. I have to have this Pokemon when I have Weather Ball and when I have Barraskewda. But Weather Ball on this Pokemon, on top of Choice Scarf, is really strong versus their team. Can catch something like Landorus off guard, can catch stuff like Gyapdos off guard. Even like the Tentacruel doesn't want to switch into like Hurricanes or even Weather Balls if they're physically defensive and not Spadef, since they don't really have a way to get their HP back. They're really solid in this game, honestly. It's a really good way to get past Baxcalibur as well, especially if they're like Choice Bandit or something, bringing this Pokemon in and revenge kill them, and they don't have a single switch in to the combination of Hurricane plus Weather Ball, which is really nice. But I can also get off a Tailwind if I really need it in the game. Obviously, I can double Barraskewda's speed with Swift Swim, but I can double the entirety of my team's speed with a Tailwind, which is really nice, especially for my last Pokemon here, which is a Gliscor. We're very offensive on this set, and if I get a Sword Stance up, I'm in a great spot versus them. They have a couple Pokemon that outspeed me, but they have to be max speed investment on the Tentacruel, which I really don't expect in the matchup where they need it for Barraskewda to be max Phys Def. And then we could just destroy them with Earthquake. The rest of their team, I mean, it doesn't touch us. The stuff that's faster, obviously Brave Bird from Zapdos is really strong versus me, but we do have Toxic Orb plus Protect to be able to heal off that damage. Everything else gets destroyed by +1, +2 Facade. And if I get that speed boost up, then I don't even have to worry about the Zapdos or the Ogerpon that are faster than me. Regieleki does 0. It literally does nothing to me. Their best hit is maybe an Explosion, which I do see as a valuable option in this game if they want to bring that. But not horrible for me. I just think Gliscor has a really good matchup here. Hopefully it's going to be solid. They don't have great ways to stop it, and I'm going to try to take advantage of that. But if you guys do enjoy, if you guys have enjoyed this whole week of PPL NX content, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get to the battle. What is up, everyone? We are here connected to Jack, Gravy. We were supposed to play against Ellie. We were also supposed to play against Dell, but we have our third person filling in. They brought the Illumise, which is actually pretty crazy. Their team is very scary versus me in general. I am very scared about Regieleki. I mean, just Terra Blast is very free to me. It's not exactly the team that I expected, though, with no Ogerpon. I really like that, so I don't have to deal with these spikes all day long. I kind of like the idea of just leading with Pelipper, but it doesn't do great if they bring the Regieleki to start out. But if they're like Landorus, I could Choice Scarf Weather Ball off versus their team, which is pretty solid. And just the rain is solid in general. I mean, if we see Regieleki, we can go out to Gliscor. It's not that big of a deal. I think we'll just start off with Pelipper. I feel like Lando makes a lot of sense and could want to come out here. So yeah, we're just going to go, straight for it. Might as well. Good luck, have fun to our opponent. I appreciate you filling in. Really nice to to be able to play against some good competition still. You know, I was worried once Dell got replaced and then once Ellie got replaced that, you know, it was a time where I really wanted to play against those great players. And I still get to play against a great one here. So they're going to lead with the Klefki. I mean, I'm assuming that we're just going to see spikes here, right? I mean, it just seems so obvious that we're going to see spikes. Weather Ball should be a 2-hit KO on especially defensive Klefki, though. So I'm just going to send it, as they are going to spike up. I mean, we're just going to send this. He will probably get me with a T-Wave the next turn. Or maybe they'll just set up 2 spikes, but that is a lot of damage. That is a ton. I mean, I'm just going to Weather Ball again. It's either a T-Wave or a second layer of spikes that we see here. Either of which are fine. Not great, but, you know, we don't have a spinner. As they're going to withdraw. That's actually surprising. Probably Tentacruel then. No Baxcalibur. I mean, this is going to take a good chunk. I mean, this Weather Ball is not going to be easy for them to take. It looks like they have some investment that only did 25%. If they're max HP, it could do that much. Which is quite interesting for sure. My immediate want is to go out to my Belly Bolt here. At +1, we should be able to eat anything. And we just threaten them with a Toxic. So I'm going to go hard out to it. If they do attack me with, you know, a Glaive Rush or something like that, then we're going to get them with the Rocky Helmet. And potential Static as well. Alright, what are they going to go for off the bat? It's just going to be Glaive Rush. We get to see how much it does. I mean, it's a good chunk. Definitely does a lot of damage to me. And another one is probably going to be pretty close to taking me out here. Which is fine. That's what the Belly Bolt is here for, really. I'm just going to click Toxic in case they want to switch out to Lando or preserve this. They're just going to go for EQ. I'm at 171. We do go down. I mean, I know they're not choiced or anything. But it gives us an opportunity to go out to Barraskewda and throw off a very, very nice hit versus them. Close combat easily knocks them out. Yeah, I mean, we just go Barraskewda here. I also like the idea of just flip turning, but it is scary if they do decide to stay in. But close combat should always knock this Pokemon out. Yeah, I just don't want them to swap. I feel like we are going to see them swap here. There's no reason for them to stay in. I'm going to flip turn. As, yeah, we do catch them with that, which is great. They're going to go to 50 Shades of OU. Crazy. Yeah, Landorus. I mean, we get to see how defensive this Pokemon is. It's going to take a ton of damage. Yeah, not very defensive. I'll tell you that. We get to bring back in the Pelipper if we really want to. But I do like the idea of just going out to Gliscor, getting our Toxic heal up. And making sure we get that activated. We can potentially knock this thing out with a Facade since we are offensive. They don't really have a great Pokemon to take Facade. And I do think I'm going to go for it. It is 35 minimum if they're max HP, which they are at 35. So, you know, it depends. We are max speed, so we should be able to outrun them. I mean, I'm just going to try to knock it out. Nice. Perfect. So we don't let Stealth Rocks go up. I'm assuming that's what they went for there. They do see that we're max speed and everything like that, but not too big of a deal. Does invite back in the Baxcalibur though, which is what I'm worried about. Baby got Bax. I mean, we can do a nice like 30-ish% to this Pokemon. I am afraid of what it wants to do to me. Obviously, we do have Bullet Punch in the back, which will be able to revenge kill if we do tap it at all. But I don't want to give up my answer to the Regieleki. So I'm going to make the aggressive Iron Hands play. We are Shucka, so we don't take too much to Earthquake. I'm assuming we just see Spear here. We do see Dragon Hands, so that's fine. I mean, this thing is very offensive. I'm going to get a little bit of chip with Fake Out on this Pokemon. And we should never die to an Earthquake, since our Shucka Berry is here. Even Glaive Rush, Adamant +1 does not knock us out. So we'll go for Drain Punch here, as they are going to Earthquake. We're going to eat the Shucka. So good prep for me. I'm really happy that I ended up bringing that, as they do a decent chunk, bringing us down to just under half. As they are Chople themselves, makes sense. We do just knock them out from that range. Let's see. I mean, it looked like that was in our favor, if any. I mean, it might have been a roll at that point. Who knows? But we do have the Fake Out. We have, you know, the Barraskewda once we get Rain back up. It was at a point where we were fine. If I needed to, I could have just swapped out and got Fake Out damage back on. But we're looking pretty solid here. I mean, they do not have a great way to break through me at this point. They are going to bring out the Illumise. And this thing, it might just go for like an Encore versus me or something like that. We still do a decent chunk. I am worried about potential like Tail Glow sort of shenanigans. I mean, I will go for Thunder Punch versus this Pokemon. I could definitely see Encore coming out. But I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to attack this Pokemon. Attack what's in front of me. Is this just Bug Buzz? Oh, okay. That's a big crit. That is a huge crit. Unfortunate, too. I mean, they're max offensive for sure, right? Just looking at that damage. I know they crit me, but dang. That's more than I expected. It's got to be like, what, Tinted Lens? Is that what they are? I don't really know about this Pokemon that much. I think it's Tinted Lens, right? Yeah. All right, so they're Tinted Lens. They're not even Prankster. So I'm gonna go out to Pelipper. That's the only way it knocked me out, was a modest Tinted Lens. Probably Choice Specs. I don't even think they would have knocked me out without Specs on that Pokemon. Pelipper, I mean, we just throw off very free Hurricane. We could even Weather Ball here, but I think Hurricane is just the freer option. Always knocks this Pokemon out. Unless they are max HP, in which case they don't die to one roll. But if they go out to Tentacruel, it's going to take a good amount of damage. If they go out to Regieleki, it's going to take a good amount. Yeah, Regieleki does not want to take this at all. Man, if we just got the damage off on that Pokemon, I would have felt a little bit better. I mean, knowing that it's not Prankster is really nice for my Barraskewda that's in the back. They go out to I'm a Bounce. Okay. Yeah, Regieleki is going to take a good chunk. Close to 50%. Which means this Pokemon is max offensive. Yeah, it's definitely very offensive. Gliscor is the very obvious play here. I do think we could see an explosion sort of thing come out. If they were like Jolly or I guess Adamant, clicking Explosion could do just a ton to me. I don't think they can ever one-shot me unless they're Choice Banded. I do think it might be in my best interest to pivot through Metagross, though. I don't think there's any real way that they... Okay, they double out, which is fine. I was going to say, there's no way that they're actually going to click the button. As we see Klefki come out. I mean, we have our Metagross here. If they want to set up a screen, then I click Psychic Fangs here every time, right? That's just the better option. I could see a T-Wave coming into me. Would not be the biggest deal. I could also see another Spike, but they know that I'm double Boots, and I have the Pelipper, and I have the Gliscor. So Spikes don't do anything versus my team at this point. So I'm assuming we see T-Wave. Also could be Foul Play, which does a lot to me. If they Foul Play, oh well. You know. They are just going to Foul Play. This should do about 50%. Get a little bit of a high roll there, not too big of a deal. And we're going to take out the Klefki. I mean, Tentacruel. I'm a little bit worried that in the rain they might be able to knock me out with something, but knockoff doesn't do anything. Illumise comes out. I mean, this thing is just very offensive. I think I just sent out a bullet punch into this Pokemon. Just no need to do anything besides get some damage off. Yeah, they're just going to Bug Buzz. I mean, we get a free kill with Weather Ball from Pelipper here. We also could just go Barraskewda. And in the rain, Flip Turn should always knock this Pokemon out too. I think that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to go Barraskewda and flip. Yeah, to 73 min. I want to see how much rain we have left. I think it's just one. Perfect. Yeah, we just flip here. And then, I don't know. I think no matter what, we have to bring out the Gliscor. And it is a little bit scary because they do have the Tentacruel in the back, but there will be no more rain. Ice Beam will hurt, though. I'm assuming that they have to be packing it. I mean, I could definitely still lose this game. It's not easy by any means. If I had gotten the Thunder Punch damage on this Illumise, I would have knocked it out with Bullet Punch. So that crit really coming into play here. We do just get the Flip Turn off. Oh, they live on 1. Are you kidding? Alright, does Pelipper live this? I guess that's really important now. I mean, I also can go to Gliscor. I mean, what, they're modest choice specs, right? Tinted Lens. Modest Tinted Lens Bug Buzz. We do always live. So it's not what I want to take here, but it's fine. Yep, we always end up living it. I'm always faster than them. We're going to get our Poison Heal off here. I don't care about them switching out if they want to do that, so I'm just going to Protect here. Get some extra recovery back up. Just because it's very important against the Tentacruel. And then we're going to knock them out here with a Facade, I guess. Being back at 50% is really nice. Let's just Facade here. And take out the Illumise. That Pokemon was actually kind of a problem. Wouldn't have been if it didn't crit me. Stupid Pokemon, but you know. It is what it is. Yeah, without that crit, never killed my hands. Need to stop thinking about that. They are going to go out to the Tentacruel. Now, if this thing is offensive, then it's definitely scary. Like, Timid Ice Beam would one-shot me from full. I can Protect here. I don't think that they would have any sort of setup. So I can get my HP back. We're at least going to go for that. As they're just going to click Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump easily knocks me out. But do they click Flip Turn this turn and catch me on the switch? That's what I'm afraid of. But if I get rid of my Gliscor, I mean, I basically lose the game. I mean, Barraskewda can win if I still have Rain up. I think no matter what, maybe swapping out to Pelipper might be a decent play. I can even set up the Tailwind so my Gliscor can win. Okay, I'll make the play. I think that there's a solid chance that they click Flip Turn versus me here. But we'll see what they do. It's just going to be Hydro Pump. I mean, it's going to do a decent chunk. Whew, that is very offensive. Did just under 50%. It looks like max Timid probably. And I really want to Weather Ball into them because it would catch the Regieleki, but Hurricane just is too much to this Pokemon. Puts it in range of what I need. Yeah, we are just going to hit Hurricane. This should do like 40%, right? Not quite. And Sludge Wave should take me out here. All right, I mean, we're in a game for sure. Barraskewda can come out and click Psychic Fangs. It's their Rain Dish. That's good prep. I am very worried about Pyapa Berry. Because if they're Pyapa Berry, they can win this game. If they're Pyapa Berry, I think I lose. Unless I flip turn first. I think I just have to go for it, though. Do they even knock out my Barraskewda? I don't think so. So we Psychic Fangs. They're not Pyapa. Okay, they're going to go down. And we're in the rain, so Regieleki should not be able to outspeed me and knock me out. If they're a Choice Scarf Regieleki, they do outspeed me. But then I think I should win with Gliscor. So we'll see what it is. We'll go for Liquidation here. Are they Scarf Regi? I could see it. They're not. Okay, so Barraskewda is going to pick up the final 2 KOs in this game. Great game. Very fast-paced and very scary. The Illumise tech kind of went wild, being a huge menace to my entire team. And really, really hard endgame for me to play into there. If they're Pyapa, it could have gotten pretty scary. I definitely just would have lost, I think. Unless their Tentacruel wasn't max speed. Which, looking at the damage and the HP, I don't think they were max speed. They might not have had enough speed to outrun my Gliscor. So it was just a scary game in general there. But great game to Gray. Thank you for stepping in and playing for me. But, really nice win for us. I'm not going to reveal how many games we've won or lost at this point. But, we're sitting in a pretty decent spot. Still vying for the top 2. Top 2 make it to the, the best playoffs. But we will have playoff games no matter what. But I just want to be in a higher tier, get a lot of those points. Because the top 2 people at the end of the league do make it into the PPL main. Also the person with the best content. So I'm hoping to get that too. I've been trying to work on my content ever since, just as recently as starting off this year. Really wanted to make my content a little bit better, as you can tell with the team builders, and hopefully just the content in general is pretty solid. I'm also trying, after one of my other games, or after a bunch of recent games, trying not to care that much about the hacks. It's a little bit hard for me to do that sometimes. But a great game there. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.